host Liam, and we are a podcast that talks about all sports news, latest updates on everything that's going around in sports.
That's right. That's right. And, we're excited to get started. And,
Absolutely.
we got a lot to talk about today. We're
Yes.
going over hockey, baseball, basketball, football, you name it. We got it.
We're gonna go through all main U.S. sports and the big news that comes out of each sport every single day, and try to stay on top of every single main topic.
Except for NASCAR. We don't do NASCAR.
All right. The first topic we have for today is Jack Eichel.
Okay, well, obviously we know that Jack Eichel has been heavily rumored with the Rangers, but there's a new team
Yes.
involved. New team.
Okay. What's the
You
new
want to know
team?
what that team is?
What?
The LA Kings are rumored to be involved.
Okay.
But also, about 2 hours ago, some hockey, New York Post actually came out with a report that Jack Eichel has not requested a trade. So I don't really
Okay.
know. I
So
don't really
are
know if there's
we
any momentum, but
are we thinking that the Sabres are just trying to get rid of him?
well, I think at this point, I think they have to. And I've also heard rumors of a Taylor Hall contract extension coming soon, which I think is just ridiculous. Why would you extend that
If
guy?
I'm a
He
Sa-
has
if I'm a
played
Sabres
terrible.
fan, I don't want that. If I'm a Sabres fan,
No, no, I don't. Well, let's be honest. There's not too many of those out there right now. But
no.
if if I'm a Sabres fan, I don't want to trade Jack Eichel.
At
But
this point, I feel like the Sabres have to realize and come to terms that they might have to start just going into a rebuild as fast as possible.
I mean, have they even exited a rebuild at this point? Every year, I think they make good moves. They make good. I thought Taylor Hall was a good signing,
Taylor
but he
Hall was a
never
very good
seems to pan
signing.
out for them. It
Yeah,
never seems to. And I believe they signed him to a 1 year this year, so he'll be a free agent after this season if no extension happens, which it shouldn't, based off the way he's playing.
I don't believe so. No.
But I guarantee you Taylor Hall wants it to happen because he is not going to find any more money on the open market if he goes to free agency and continues to keep playing the way he's been playing.
He's been doing so bad recently. It's insane.
What does he have? 2 goals?
He has one. Did he score last night or 2 nights ago?
I think he did. I think he
Okay, so he
did
has
score.
2 goals on the season. I don't even know if he has double digit assists yet.
I
That's
I
not good.
mean, him and Lafreniere are probably competing with each other for most points right now,
I will give
or
to him.
least points.
I will give him that the Sabres did have a lot of games postponed because they did have COVID,
That's
but
true.
that's unacceptable. I'm gonna look up. They've played 21 games and he only has like 11 or
I
12
mean,
points.
21 games isn't. That's not. I thought it was going to be like in the teens. That's really not.
That first line
No.
of Taylor Hall and Jack Eichel should not be only at 6 wins on the season.
I mean, it's brutal. It's terrible. I really don't know what they're doing over
Nothing
there,
is
but
going wrong. Nothing's going right with the
I
Sabres right now.
don't think I could tell you the last time the Sabres were in playoffs or even in a playoffs talks. I feel like they go through this cycle every year of, they sign a good free agent, make a good depth move, and then there's a lot of hopes coming in. Even not even just for Sabres fans, I'd say for NHL fans for the Sabres, because who really roots against the Sabres? They don't.
That's
Do they
true.
even have a rival? I mean,
Not really.
but you know, so when you're as bad as them, they don't even deserve one. But so they come in. Everyone seems like they have high hopes, and sometimes they even start the season strong. That wasn't even the case this year.
Yes.
Right out of the gate, just
Right.
brutal,
I know.
terrible. I'm looking at
That's
their goals. I'm looking at their goals differential minus 17. That's
that's
terrible.
I know. That's very bad. Okay.
Like, I mean, just to give some context on that, I've the worst goal differential in the NHL is negative 33. And you want to take a guess what teams that is?
I'm assuming it's got to be the Red
It
Wings.
is the Red Wings. But so you want to see the difference between the Sabres and the best team in the league, the Lightning? Their differential is at plus 33.
That's
Just like,
crazy.
what a difference. I
Uh,
mean,
A plus minus of over 50.
yeah. I will give it to the Sabres though. I am while I'm looking at the goal differential, it is bad. It is bad, but it's not the worst. That means while they're losing a lot of games,
They're
they're
keeping it
keeping it
close.
competitive. Exactly.
They're keeping
But I
themselves in
mean,
games.
in the end, it doesn't matter. I mean,
I mean, when you
like,
win 2 games in regulation in 10 games, that's not good.
they have 15 points. 15 points right now in 21 games.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
not looking
come
too hot.
on.
It's not looking too hot.
I mean, the Stars have more points than
I
them. They're
mean,
last in
I
the
I
Central.
honestly thought that the Senators or the Red Wings would have been the worst team in the NHL, it might be the Sabres.
Right now, maybe.
It might be the Sabres.
Now, all right, back to the Jack Eichel trade rumors, though. Now, since you were a Rangers
I'm a
fan,
Rangers fan.
what what would your ideal trade package to be realistically to get Jack Eichel?
As a diehard Rangers fan, I don't want Jack Eichel.
See, that just doesn't make sense to me.
Why does that not make sense to you?
I don't know. Why wouldn't you want a franchise player on your team besides Artemi
You
Panarin?
come up with a trade for me, and I'll tell you why I don't want him.
Okay, well, I know why you don't want him.
Okay, tell me why. Give me a trade. Pretend
it seems
you
like
are
you
the
don't want
Sabres
him.
GM, and I'm the Rangers
It seems
GM.
like you don't want him because you don't want to give up these players that you've become attached to.
It's not. No, give me a trade.
Would you not be willing to give up Capo Caco?
I'd be willing to go Capo.
Okay, so what if they gave up Capo Caco, the first round draft pick this year and next year, and let's say they moved maybe I don't know. It's tough because I know if I said Zibanejad, you'd say no.
I'm telling you right now, I don't want Zibanejad.
All right, what if they said
anywhere.
Buchnevich? Buchnevich.
See, that's also
Buchnevich,
tough.
Buchnevich, Kako, first round draft picks next year, second round in 2023.
I just don't.
That is probably.
I would not.
You
wanna
wouldn't do
give
it.
Up.
Oh, for Jack Eichel, man, he is so good. I mean,
I
he's
know
a top 10 player in the league.
He is a top 10 player, but he's not a goal scorer. That's the problem.
I don't think you need Panarin's a goal scorer.
Panarin's a goal scorer, but
So
he doesn't even have that many goals this year, and he's been out for the last
Jack
week.
Eichel is going to set up Panarin.
I don't know.
That is an
but we already
MVP
have.
line. Zibanejad is not getting the job done this year.
We have the pieces. We just need to use them correctly.
I think they got to build their team chemistry.
I don't know if we need to
bit.
switch lines up, or I don't know what needs to happen, but.
Well, I'd say Panarin being gone just leaves a huge dent in that offense. I mean, because Panarin, I think, is what brought that whole offense together. You want your rookie guys. You want Lafreniere playing on the same line as Panarin to get his point production up. You want Keandre Miller playing with him, and right now that's not happening because he's over in Russia.
If we're gonna,
and that's not good.
How long do we think Panarin's gonna be out for still? Because it could be a week, it can be the rest of the season. We don't know.
Well, originally when this came out, I thought he was going to Russia to disprove these rumors. Now that we know they're obviously not true, that's not why he went there. He's going there to get his family out.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And I really don't know how easy that's going to be. So,
not only that, he's got the quarantine.
Yeah. Even though I'm not a Rangers fan, I hope that he comes back as quick as possible because Artemi Panarin is what's best for hockey.
Exactly.
And hockey needs Panarin. The Rangers need Panarin,
Absolutely.
especially.
Okay, now you said that the Kings were trying to make a trade for Jack Eichel.
That's what I've heard, but that has not gotten much traction.
The Kings would literally have to give up their future for Jack Eichel, and I don't think they should do that.
You don't think they would give up their past instead?
Absolutely.
You couldn't see Drew Doughty going there. You couldn't see Anze Kopitar going there, maybe.
How old is Anze Kopitar? I mean, he's still putting up points left, right, and center, but how old is he?
Yeah, but he's got to be in his mid-30s, I'd say.
Because at
he's 33. He's 33.
He's 33.
33.
The Sabres even as the Sabres, if I'm the Sabres GM, I don't do that trade because you need young players because you need to rebuild.
Yeah, because they're not in the spot to win right now. And guess what? If they're going to go through a rebuild, which they definitely should, Anze Kopitar won't be there when it's done.
They need to go for
Anze
multiple
Kopitar
draft
will be
picks
playing
and
golf.
young players. That's what they need to go for Jack Eichel.
Definitely.
Young, promising players and draft picks.
That's why I'm saying that
30-year-old
Rangers trade
superstars.
makes a lot of sense. That Rangers trade that I offered up makes a lot of sense.
I understand, but...
I understand where you're coming from, though, too.
I understand, but the Philadelphia 76ers, the basketball team, a couple years ago, they went through the process, and look where they're at now. They're the number one seed in the NBA. I feel like the Rangers are sort of going through that process right now, obviously on a much higher scale than they were. But at this point, we just got to trust the process. We have such a young team. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely.
I feel like we just have to roll with it.
They got to build their chemistry a little bit. I got to be honest.
Definitely have to build.
Coming into this year, I had high hopes for the Rangers. I thought they were going to be a playoff team, if I'm being honest. They've disappointed me so far, honestly.
Well, of course, but Chris
But
Kreider has not
season's still young.
Disappointing. His contract has not been disappointing.
What does he have? 6 goals in 9 games or what is
He
it?
has
Something like that?
13 goals in the season. I don't know exactly how many assists he has, but he has well over 20 points this season. For the amount of minutes
Yeah.
he gets on the ice, that's very well.
Yeah,
That's
no,
very
I
good.
know I clowned that contract when it first came out, but I mean he's proven me wrong
He
as of
he's
right
he's
now.
definitely proving himself on why he is a good player.
And you know what? I don't even think he had to prove himself. I knew he was a good player, obviously, and I'm not gonna say he didn't earn that contract, but I don't know. 7 years felt like a long time to me.
I understand that, especially because we had Panarin and Zibanejad, and
Well,
when
that
we
was
and
before Panarin, though.
I under but when we signed to that contract, Panarin and Zibanejad were going off last year right before COVID, so
Yeah.
I understand why that deal didn't make sense at the time. But it's now starting to come to fruition, especially because Panarin's not here. So
Or wait, was it before Panarin? Oh no, Panarin was on the team. I'm
Panarin was
sorry,
on the
that was
team.
dumb.
Panarin
Yeah,
was on the team.
but
I understand.
it just seemed so out of nowhere to me. I thought he was gonna sign like a 3 year because I don't know I'm sure you remember like trade rumors for Chris Kreider were heavy,
They were very heavy.
heavy trade rumors. Everyone thought Chris Kreider was gonna be traded.
Yep.
Him and Robin Leonard were like the two. Everyone thought they were going. Robin Leonard, of course, did end up going,
Yep.
but Chris Kreider, 7 years. I really didn't
I'm
expect
sorry,
that to happen.
not to go off topic, but where is Robin Leonard? What happened? Where is he?
He might be hurt, but I mean, with the way Fleury's playing, I wouldn't start Leonard. Why would you?
True. I mean,
And they signed him to that 5 year contract last year. I know, but is it possible that they leave him unprotected in the expansion draft with Seattle coming into the league,
maybe.
or do they leave Fleury unprotected?
If I'm the Knights, I keep Fleury. He's
See, I
he's going
disagree.
off. I
I
know, but
disagree.
like you gotta take you gotta take what you can get out of him. He's been going off.
I just think the Knights. I do get what you're saying, and I feel like the Knights probably are a win now team. But I do think if they literally do win now, and they win the cup this year, which I think they will, I think they will win the cup this year. But if they do that, leave Fleury unprotected. Start to build for your future, which I don't really think they have. But
I say
we'll
they're a
get to
win
that when
now
we get to that.
team.
They definitely have been a win now team since they entered the league, which no one expected. I didn't expect that.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't expect that from Seattle, but who knows? I don't think you can clown an expansion team for not being good right when they come in, but
Yep.
people will do that, of course.
Okay, staying with the NHL, me and Liam are very good friends, and we have a 10-person
Nah.
fantasy hockey league team. And I just want to start off by saying I'm a very salty fantasy owner right now because my team the last 4 weeks has been doing absolutely terrible.
And you know what? You made a lot of good
And I've
moves.
made a lot of good trades, I feel like.
I would say so.
I will admit Liam was helping me through them, but like I was stealing players left, right, and center. And I'm
looking at
losing.
the overview recently, and just the amount of players you've added and dropped recently are just crazy.
I'm
Sadly,
gonna,
a lot of them
I'm gonna
haven't
tell you
panned
the
out.
players that I've added within the last, I'd say 3-4 weeks. I've
Okay.
added Brock Besser, Christian Dvorak, Joe Pavelski, Matt Zuccarello, Boone Jenner,
Oof.
Alec Martinez, Connor Murphy, Brian Rust,
You added Sidney Crosby, and then you traded him.
Andrew Cobb,
Sidney
Mike
Crosby.
Smith. Like these players I'm adding are insane. They
You
dropped
you got Sidney Crosby too, and then you traded him for Pavelski, Martinez, Rust,
and Rush
and Couture.
and Couture,
But then I got Couture.
but I don't know. My points just don't go up.
I mean, why don't you read off your team right now?
Okay, so my team is Nathan McKinnon, JT Miller, Claude Giroux, Nicholas Backstrom, Brock Besser, Christian Dvorak, Joe Pavelski, Matt Zuccarello, Boone Jenner, Ivan Proporov, Keith Yandel, Alec Martinez, Connor Murphy, Jonas Brodin, David Savard, Bobrovsky, James Reimer, Jacob Markstrom, Tomas Tatar, Brian Rust, Andrew Kopp, Mike Smith, and Jacob Trouba, who I have in my IR spot.
Mm-hmm.
As a outsider looking in, you would think, wow, that team is insane and should be one of the top teams. What's my record? I am 3-4, and I'm about to lose my 4th week in a row.
But to be fair, this isn't a big league. What is it? A 10-person,
It's a 10-person
10-person league, and we have a lot of people that just know hockey. That I'm sure we'll have as guests sometime on this podcast at one point.
Absolutely.
But we have a lot of hockey people in this league, and I mean everyone has drafted a decent team
Let's
except
just say
for
they knew how to
certain
draft.
people. they clearly know how to draft. And I mean, it's hard to compete. Being 3-4 isn't that bad, and there's still a few weeks left to go in the season. But right now, I'm 6-1 at the moment.
Yeah.
Hopefully 7-1 after this week. But I got a competitive week this week, so we'll see how that
You're
goes.
also versing a team that is on the uprise.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, my team right now is looking like it's going to be a little out of order because my lineup's a little whack today. But William Nylander, Timo Meyer, Kyle Palmieri, Anthony Cirelli, Clayton Keller, Alex DeBrincat, Jordan Kyrou, Connor Garland, Logan Couture, Oliver Ekman Larson,
Can I just
Shea
say?
Weber.
Can I just say?
Yeah, go ahead.
DeBrincat has been going off this year.
DeBrincat has been my best trade in my opinion so far.
Absolutely.
And I've Jacob Churchrin, however you say his name.
Yep.
Nate Schmidt, Josh
Okay.
Morrissey, Connor McDavid, Jonathan Huberdeau, who also great season so far. I mean, this guy, he was severely underrated 2 years ago, and I think people are finally starting to see how good Jonathan Huberdeau is.
Yes.
Anyways, Mark Giordano, Andrei Svechnikov,
Yep.
Brady Tkachuk, and my goalies are John Gibson, Kevin Lankinen, who has just also, in a non-biased way, because I am a Blackhawks fan, he has been phenomenal this year.
Absolutely.
And Connor Hellebuck as well. And also, sorry to get off the fantasy topic a little bit, but speaking of the Blackhawks, Brent Seabrook has called it a career today, which we weren't even planning on talking about when we started this, and I completely forgot to write it down.
I know how
I
know how true he was to Chicago Blackhawks fans' hearts. He was there for all 3 chips. He was there.
He was a crucial part
he
of
was a
it,
crucial
and
part.
you know what? This does suck because a lot of people were expecting him to make a return, which sadly that won't happen. But there is a little bit of hope that comes out of this. Now, I don't believe we can waive his contract, but what we can do is with the expansion drafts coming this year, we don't have to protect him anymore, which we originally did because he had a no trade clause, so we had no choice. We had to protect him. Now we can protect someone else, which is huge for us,
Very
honestly.
good. Yes.
Because we have a strong defensive core, which is, in my opinion, is very underrated. But back to Brent Seabrook, I'd say this guy, just one of the most underappreciated Blackhawks of that cover run. When people think about it, I think a lot of people think Kane, Taves, Duncan, Keith.
Absolutely.
I feel like Brent
Very,
Seabrook doesn't
very,
get the
very
credit he
underrated.
deserves. And thank you, Brent Seabrook, for everything. But back to fantasy.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyways.
So fantasy not going well for me, and I don't know what to do with my team. There's only 5 more weeks left. I honestly think I have to win out to even make a chance at playoffs.
Listen,
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Listen, I think your problem is you're too attached to the players you have. I think you have to be willing to get rid of one good player to make that blockbuster trade. Because you were trying to get rid of Ryan Suter for weeks. And listen, no one wants Ryan
Legend
Suter.
Ryan Suter still
sorry,
lives
Ryan
on.
Suter, but
I unfortunately
Ryan,
dropped him
no one wants it
for Broden, but
oh, did you? I didn't see
for
that.
a better Minnesota defenseman. Yep.
Good choice. Good choice.
Thank you.
About time.
Okay.
But Ryan Suter just wasn't it.
Okay. I
Sadly.
understand. I understand. All right. We're gonna go over last night's hockey games. Rangers pulling out a big dub, 6-1. I was very happy. Chris Kreider getting a hat. Igor going off. Ryan Strome getting 2 assists. Hurricanes dismantling the Red Wings. What's new there? Nothing.
Yeah, it's not the outcome I was hoping for, but it's the outcome that I think a lot of us expected.
The Penguins scoring 3 goals in not even 2 minutes, and then them choking
70
the game.
seconds, and then they choked it. Didn't score for the rest of the game, and they lost.
They lost. Shout out to my boy Claude Giroux for the game winner.
Oh yeah, okay, there you go.
Jets beat the Canadiens 4-3. I think that's a very even matchup. That could have went either way.
And the Flames got their revenge. And speaking of the Flames, fired their head coach today.
Yep.
The inconsistency is real, and I think it was a great decision to fire their head coach.
Okay, I want to argue this. I understand they've been very inconsistent, but I don't think you fire your coach considering the fact you are in a playoff race right now.
Are they?
Yes.
Are they? I don't think with the way they've been playing.
You can never count a team out of.
They're not in the playoff spot. They're not in the playoff spot.
I understand that, but
they're not that close eiteither.
They're only
the Canadians have played 2 less games than them, and they're 2 points behind.
I understand that, but when you look at their last 10, they're 4-5-1. Imagine what that would be if Markstrom was in goal.
That's a fair point, but
imagine.
I think of last year.
They're in the
They were a
middle
playoff
of a
team.
playoff race right now. I do not understand why
That's
you
a fair
fire
point.
your head
It
coach.
definitely is. I totally understand. You can't be as inconsistent as you can. You can't lose 6-1 to the Senators one night and then win 7-3. Like, you can't do that. It's the Senators.
Understand.
You should be beating. You should be sweeping that series with them every day of the week.
I understand. Yeah,
And
I
They
do.
didn't. They
I-
didn't. For such a good hockey team that is the Calgary Flames, and I know we said Markstrom was out and all that, but David Riddick, who's their backup, was their starter last year. Brought him to the playoffs. I don't see why they couldn't beat the Senators with them. Honestly.
Okay, but you also have to agree with me on this that every team has their ups and downs. Clearly,
Of
the Flames
course.
are having their down right now. But I don't think you.
But I
fire-
think it's a down season.
it's a
I mean,
down.
you saw what
it's
happened-
a
you
down
saw-
season from last year.
I mean, you remember what the Leafs did last year? The inconsistency with their coach Mike Babcock.
Yep.
They were so bad. They were just inconsistent. Win 1, lose 2. Win 1, lose 3. They fired him. And guess what? They ended up being one of the best teams in the NHL. Of course, they lost first round like they usually do, I think. But
Yep.
I mean, still, he brought him to the playoffs, and I believe he's still their coach right now, which as he should be. Brought him to the playoffs. Mike Babcock wasn't getting it done. Got rid of him.
Speaking of Markstrom, I really hope he comes back soon because he is on my fantasy team.
He is on his
expected to
fantasy
come back
team.
soon, so hopefully that is a changing point in the Calgary Flames season. But who knows?
You know what I want to talk about?
What?
Victor Hedman ruining my day last night.
Yes.
0.1 seconds
0.1.
left on the clock.
Point one.
And he just slips it
0.1.
past the blue line.
Point one.
And Kevin Lankinen played another great game, in my opinion. He got unlucky with some. Probably
He did.
should have made one more save than he should have. But
But what it came
I'm
down
sorry,
to
just like
was a blink of an
what
eye.
happened with the Penguins. You can't. The Penguins went up 3-0, but Blackhawks up 2-0 going into the third. Let up like 2 goals in a matter of 3 minutes. Can't do it. Can't do it.
And I'm sorry, Lankinen is a very
Didn't
good
deserve
goalie,
to win that one.
but that Stamkos goal
That
has to
second
be
goal.
saved 10 out of 10
I
times.
agree. No, you're right. But I mean, what are you gonna do? They play again tonight, but
They are versing the Lightning again. That game is
Do
about
we
to
miss
start.
anyone from last night?
Uh,
Sabres Islanders.
Sabres Islanders. That was a big win for the Islanders. Islanders are starting to get into their groove.
And they are actually, yeah, and another tough loss for the Sabres. But at this point, I'm counting them out. I think at this point they're not competing for a playoff spot. They're competing for first overall pick, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on over there in Buffalo, but they got to stop wasting Jack Eichel's career.
All right, let's look at the games today. We are
right.
looking at Bruins Capitals. That's gonna be just a close
First period
game.
just ended.
I have a feeling the Bruins are gonna win. They are winning right now.
Yeah, 1-0 right now.
Brad Marchand scored.
Oh, great.
Lightning Blackhawks. Gonna be a good game.
Hopefully a redemption game for the Blackhawks. Got to get the offense going a
If
little
I'm
more.
the Blackhawks, this should be a must-win game, especially because I don't think Vasilevsky would be starting, considering the fact he just
Right
started
now,
last night.
Right now every game right now is a must-win game for the Blackhawks. If you look at their schedule coming up in the month of March, it is tough.
Yes.
I don't even. I mean, we got the Stars, we got the Panthers who have just been. Who expected
it's
that?
Gonna be a rough month and a half.
Who
It's gonna
expected
be
the
very
Panthers
rough.
this
It's gonna be
month
very rough.
or this year? Who expected the Panthers to do what they're doing?
That's true. They are pulling something off that I did not think would actually happen in the slightest.
And then we got Wild Coyotes tonight. That should be a pretty close matchup with 2 mediocre teams, I'd say.
Yeah.
But the Wild have been hot
They
recently.
have been very hot. They did choke a game against the Golden Knights a couple days ago, but they
Yeah.
got a point out of that. I'll give
That
them
is the Golden Knights, though. I mean, it's not like you're choking a game to some
Yes.
bad team or anything. And we got the Ducks Avalanche tonight. I'm expecting a massacre, but I'm hoping for the opposite because I have John Gibson as my goalie. So we'll see.
I do think Nathan McKinnon is starting today, even though that hit on him. What
Day
was
to
that?
day, right?
Last night or 2 nights ago, that was a dirty hit,
2 nights ago, I believe.
very dirty. But we do think he's gonna be playing today. I think he's gonna be playing today. He
Oh,
was at his
also,
morning skate.
back to the Capitals Bruins for a moment. Sorry to interrupt you, but Alex Ovechkin suspended for they called it a spearing to the Bruins players' private area, I believe it was.
Do we know how
believe
long
it
the
was a-
suspension is?
I'll look that up, but if I'm going off what I remember, it was a 3-game suspension
Okay, I can tell you now, he's not serving that now because he is playing in this game. But
Okay,
I
so
wonder.
no, sorry, not suspended. He was fined $5,000 is what it was.
Okay.
Not suspended.
Okay.
Yeah, he speared Trent Frederick in the groin.
Yeah.
I've never even heard Bruins rookie.
I've never even heard of him. I'm gonna be completely honest.
Yeah, he's a Bruins rookie. Yeah, okay. Anyways, back to tonight's game. What are we at? Blues Kings.
Blues Kings. That's just the. I think the Blues are gonna win that. I don't.
I got to be honest. The Blues. I think obviously I think they're still a good team, but I think they have been the most lost in the shuffle team this year. I haven't heard
Absolutely.
anything about the Blues.
Jordan Binghamton lost as ever. Completely
Bennington, man.
lost.
I don't.
From
I
what
don't
he
know. I don't know.
was in the 2018 finals to what he is now,
Do I look nervous?
two completely different goalies.
Also, if you look at the West Division standings, the Blues have played 23 games. You know how many the Golden Knights have played?
How many?
19. They have one more point than the Blues do, though.
Wow.
14-4-1, the Golden Knights. That's insane. That is domination.
That's domination of the entire West Division.
They have got the West Division on lock, and I know it's still early, but they've gotten on lock.
And I say this every year because every year it ends up being true. The entire west side of the country is there's just no competition. It's like 2 or 3 teams just completely smacking everybody up, and then everybody else is just in the dumpster. While the entire east side of the country, it's every single game is competitive. Every single game.
This is the most competitive the Central Division has been in a while, though.
Oh, absolutely.
With good teams, because usually we see the Central. Last year the Central was competitive, but it was because it was a bunch of bad teams fighting for that last playoff spot. This year, it's a bunch of doing like positive record teams fighting for that last playoff spot. And obviously the Lightning riding their 6-game winning streak right now.
Insane.
Just ridiculous.
Vasilevsky holding his spot as the best goalie, in my opinion, in the league.
Yes, he is. And who else to break that shutout streak than the Blackhawks?
That is true. That is true. As
I believe it was 270 minutes or so.
It's some crazy number.
Yeah.
But
all right.
I think it is time to stray away from NHL, and I think it's time to go on to.
Well, we got one more. We got one more game tonight.
What game?
Golden Knights Sharks, classic rivalry.
Yep.
Not 2019 rivalry. Who could forget the 5-minute major that the Golden Knights took? I believe the Sharks scored 4 goals during that and took the win in Game 7. Who could forget? Classic rivals tonight. I'm sure the Golden Knights will win.
Oh, they're gonna completely kill them.
And you know what I bet a lot of people forgot? Devin Dubnyk is the Sharks starting goalie. Bet a lot of people don't remember that.
I don't even remember that.
So that's what I'm telling you. All right, well, NHL, I'd say we covered a lot about the NHL today.
We talked about for almost half an hour. Now I think it's time to switch on to the MLB.
I agree. What would you like to start with?
Let's talk about JBJ, because his contract just came out yesterday.
Jackie Bradley Jr. About time this guy signed a contract. Defensive wizard. And, might I add, I know a lot of people like to get on him about his bat and all that, but he didn't have a bad offensive year last year. I mean, I think he batted somewhere in like the 280s with like a couple of bombs. Honestly.
Yep.
And, his defense.
His defense is just top 5.
It's ridiculous.
Fielder, top 5 defense.
Definitely.
Without doubt.
Sorry. I'm sorry. He batted 387 last year.
Are you sure?
He batted 387 in 2020.
I didn't even think that. Are you sure?
And you know why? Because he only had 31 at bats.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay. How were his 2019 numbers?
I know that was a small sample size. All right, 2019. He batted 326 in 2019, but only 19. Wait, what the heck? Is this right? Has this guy not played a full season? He only has 156 total career games.
You're not even looking at the right person, I don't believe.
No, I definitely am. Jackie Bradley Jr., number 19.
No, okay.
Nickname JBJ.
His 2020 stats, he had 54 hits in 191 at-bats. He had a 283
Okay, then
average.
all right. Then I don't know why MLB is giving me these stats.
He had a very decent year.
Okay, 283 batting average, yeah.
Definitely above average, definitely.
That's a solid year.
That's solid.
That's a solid year. He was the ALCS MVP too. I didn't even know that. Not in 2020, obviously.
No, 2018.
Yep.
But the fact that he lasted until the beginning of March is blowing my mind.
Well, you know why he lasted? He wanted too much money. And
How
you
much
know
did
what
he
he did?
get? How much is he
He
getting?
settled 2 years, 24 million for Jackie Bradley Jr.
I want your honest opinion. Is he worth $12 million a
Yep,
year? No.
I think so.
You think so? I think 12
He's
million.
30 years old.
I think 12 million's a good number.
He's 30 years old.
I believe he's good.
He's a defensive wizard still.
Yep.
His bat is not as bad as people say. It's not great. It's not great. Oh, I can admit that. It's not a great bat. But I know the Mets were in on him for a little while, and I'm a Mets fan. And with that contract that he got, I would have been okay with giving that to him, especially if the DH was in the National League this year, which sadly it's not. But if the DH was in the National League this year, Jackie Bradley Jr. would have been an awesome pickup for the Mets,
Absolutely.
especially for what he got.
Absolutely. And one other free agent that somehow hasn't been signed is Jake Odorizzi.
I haven't heard anything about Jake
Nothing.
Odorizzi.
Nothing.
This entire offseason, not even one team I've heard is interested. Not even just teams that are interested. I haven't heard what he's asking for.
No.
What is he? I don't know what he wants.
The season starts in
When-
a month.
When do you think he's going to get signed? Before opening day?
I mean, I'd hope for his sake.
I hope for his sake too. Yeah,
It's got to happen.
he better.
All right.
No, I have a question for you. It's a little
Yeah.
off topic, but I want to go to the Mets for a second.
Okay.
Now, the Mets rotation right now, it's set the 1-2-3, DeGrom, Carrasco, Stroman, or maybe Stroman and Carrasco will be switched. Who knows?
Yes.
But I want to know. Fourth and fifth guy, let's assume it's Tyon Walker and David Peterson.
Yes.
Who do you think, by the time Noah Syndergaard comes out, will be bumped out of that rotation? Peterson or Walker?
That's tough. Just because
I know it's going to depend on how they do
Yeah.
in that half of season.
Let's just say they play to their standards.
Yep.
I think they would send down probably Tajon Walker.
See,
What I would,
that's not what I think.
you don't think so?
I think it's going to be David Peterson, and you want to know why?
Why?
The only reason, because they're paying Tajon Walker.
That's
They're
true.
not paying David Peterson,
That's true.
and they're gonna play the guy that. Because guess what? One of the reason Robbie Cano's been playing, or has been playing like 2018, 2019, because we're paying him, and we're
Paying him
not
the
gonna
big bucks.
not play the guy that we're not paying. Especially when it was the Wilpons, because they had to pay him. Because guess what? They didn't have enough money to buy him out.
Nope.
No way.
Nope.
But that's just what I wanted to talk about for a second.
I understand. I understand. And I know, as you being a Mets fan, you want Stroman out of there.
Do I want Stroman out of there?
Do you want him off the team?
No. I
You want to keep
don't.
him for this year? You want to trade him at? You want to trade him at the trade deadline?
I
Like,
definitely want to keep him for this year. We haven't gotten to see what he could do as a Met.
That's
We
true.
got the half of the season in 2019, which
Yeah.
wasn't great. Wasn't
no,
great.
it's not.
But we haven't gotten to see anything for 2020. And I actually had this debate with a friend of mine like 2 days ago over Instagram. This guy, Marcus Stroman, I like Marcus Stroman, I do. But he is just hyping himself up over Twitter and Instagram and all that. He is hyping himself up. The way this guy is talking about himself, he better go out there and win the goddamn Cy Young. Because he is just setting. I don't. All right,
He's
let
a
me
confident
restart
guy.
a little bit. I respect confidence, but I think with the way he's talking, if he's digging himself a really big hole if he doesn't live up to it. Because he is setting himself up for failure if he doesn't live up to it.
I mean, that's
and
the way you gotta
it's
do it.
not like, and he's not playing in Toronto anymore. He's playing in New York. New York sees everything.
New York sees everything. Big Apple.
Yep,
Big
that's
Apple.
right.
And you gotta hope that he's not laying home runs off that Big Apple in City Field.
Better not be.
New York Yankee starting rotation. I saw a post by the MLB earlier today. It
Yeah.
was looking like Garrett Cole, Corey Kluber,
Yep,
James Tallon, or however you say his last name,
Tyon.
Tyon, Jordan Montgomery, and then Devi Garcia being the fifth one. Not Domingo Herman.
Domingo Herman's good to go at the start of the season, correct?
Domingo Herman is good to go, but he did a week and a half ago, did put out, I think it was an Instagram post that had some iffy comments that he had to apologize for.
You want to know what I heard?
What'd you hear?
This has to do with the rotation, but it more has to do with Domingo Herman as a person.
Yes.
I heard a lot of players aren't ready to forgive Domingo Herman.
Oh, I wouldn't blame them.
I heard Zach Britton especially has been one of the most outspoken ones because apparently he saw it. He saw like everything that happened with that domestic violence. I don't want to go into that though.
No.
That's that'll be a talk for another day maybe.
Yeah.
But I just heard Domingo Herman has not been forgiven by certain players. Maybe that's changed because that was maybe a week ago that I heard this. But as of right now, or it could be the reason that MLB didn't put him in his post is because it's just bad for PR. Because I guarantee if there's even one comment on that post about Domingo Herman, it's bad.
Yeah.
You're not going to see any positive Domingo Herman comments on there.
Yeah.
Especially any women that follow MLB's Instagram.
Yeah.
Because they won't see that. It's just much easier for them to put Devi Garcia, whatever the Yankees end up doing.
Devi Garcia. Yeah. He had a very good intro for his 2020 year.
Yeah,
good.
Definitely. Especially with the way he was thrown in. I don't even know what he expected to play, especially since there was no minor league season last year for any levels.
That's true.
So he probably wasn't expecting to play. This came out of nowhere for him.
He thought he was just gonna sit in practice squad for the entire season, but he got
exactly.
He did
and good for him though. I think he did well.
He's young. He's 21. He has a bright future. He has a very bright future.
Have you heard about that Yankees prospect Jason Dominguez?
Tank. That's just
this guy.
That's just one word. Tank.
I don't like what's going on with him.
You don't like it?
I don't like it. They're calling him better than Mike Trout, and I mean, Jesus Christ, you're really just giving this kid the most high expectations ever.
They have to hype him up. They have to.
Yeah, but I mean, if he doesn't live up to, they're basically saying this guy's going to be better than Mike Trout. I mean, how could someone live up to that?
They are putting a lot of pressure on him, but when you are 18 and you are that size and you are putting up numbers like that, I mean, you gotta do that just to make them out into the public. You gotta.
Yeah, I'm not even a Yankees fan, but obviously I hope he lives up to those expectations. Never want to wish failure on a player.
Yes.
Unless his name is Trevor Bauer.
I hate Trevor Bauer. Hate him. Hate him as a person. Hate him as a player. Hate him.
Hate the way he ran his free agency.
Hate it.
Especially towards the end.
He acted like he owned the MLB.
You know what? You know what I didn't like? I've just been thinking about it a little recently. And I'm over Trevor Bauer not signing with the Mets, especially for that contract that he got. I'm okay with it. Yes. But I didn't like the fact that he made YouTube videos about the Mets. 2 of them, actually.
Yeah.
And I didn't see any about the Dodgers, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Made a YouTube video about the Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see a YouTube video about the Dodgers, though, still. And in the end, it seemed like it was coming down to the Mets and the Dodgers.
He was toying with them.
And then we saw the Mets merge get leaked. And then you know what happened? He signed with the Dodgers. And then you know what happened? He went on Twitter and said, it wasn't my fault. Yeah. I mean, be a man. Own up to it, at least. But I don't want to go into Trevor Bauer rant right now.
He knows how to get into people's heads in a joking manner. But when he really annoys the crap out of Mets fans like that, and and MLB fans in general, it gets annoying and it gets old.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to talk about Trevor Bauer anymore, though.
Okay, I just want to quickly run through the Yankees lineup. It's most likely going to be LeMahieu, Judge, Hicks, Stanton, Voit, probably Glaber, Sanchez. I think we're going to be starting Clint Frazier this year, and then
I was actually going to ask you that. Yeah, Clint Frazier or Brett Gardner starting in left field on opening day.
It's got to be.
I agree. I think it's finally time to give Clint Frazier the opportunity.
Give him his chance. And since we re-signed Gardner, if he can't play up to his expectations, we're just going to put Gardner in. Simple as that.
Exactly. That's why I thought re-signing Gardner was a great move.
Absolutely, yeah. And for re-signing Gardner, I think perfect bow completed the Yankees offseason.
Completely agree.
We had grading it A+ to F. I'd say we had an A offseason.
I'd give it an A-.
Okay.
I would have re-signed Tanaka.
It was very good. I mean,
I'd say if you re-signed Tanaka, I'd give it an A.
He was just asking for a lot of money.
I would have signed a more established pitcher that pitched last year, maybe, instead of maybe trading for Tyon. I would have, if it was me, I would have not traded for Tyon, and I would have signed Odorizzi instead.
Yeah.
But that's just me. All right.
Let me hear it. Wait,
Why don't we
let
get?
me hear the
Yeah.
Mets roster real quickly.
So I'm not gonna go in any specific order with the lineup, but it will be I'll go in like position order.
Okay.
So pitcher will be Jacob deGrom.
Yep.
Catcher James McCann, newly
Yep.
acquired stud. Mr. Grand Slam Pete Alonso over at first base.
Yep.
Jeff McNeil also hitting nukes in spring training.
Yep.
Shortstop Francisco, not Frankie. He doesn't like to be called Frankie apparently. Francisco Lindor.
Still trying
Over
to
at
sign
shortstop.
him to his extension.
I hope so, man. JD Davis over at third, the heavily trade-rumored JD Davis, which, I like
Good
JD.
trade piece.
I like JD, though. I'm okay with keeping him around. Especially, I don't want to trade for Chris Bryant. I don't want a one-year rental.
Absolutely not.
Anyways, Dom Smith over in left field. I love Dom.
Underrated.
No. It's not where I'm going with it.
Okay.
I love Dom. But, I love his bat. I don't know about his defense in left field. He's a first baseman. He's a first baseman.
See, this is where the DH would have really helped the Mets.
I know. But anyways.
Is he even a true left fielder? Did he come up playing left?
He's a first baseman. He's a true first baseman.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough.
But anyways, Brandon Nimmo over in center. According to MLB, the worst defensive center fielder. But still number 5 on MLB Network's list. So, I don't know how that works out, but that's okay. Over in right field, Mr. Michael Conforto, also trying to get that extension.
Yep.
And, also, a little off the lineup, I think the Mets bullpen is a little underrated on paper.
I will agree with you on that.
A healthy Seth Lugo when he comes back, Edwin Diaz, Trevor May.
Trevor May's an absolute stud muffin.
Yeah, he is. Hopefully, rebound Dylan Betances.
Yep.
Aaron Fruit Loops.
Okay.
That's probably like the top 5 guys. And also Yankees, their bullpen got bolstered when they signed Justin Wilson, which I'm a little upset about, hoping he came back to the Mets, but it's okay.
I was very happy with what we did with our bullpen. I know we lost Tommy Kane. That was a big L.
Also Adam Ottavino.
I hated him. Hated that guy.
I know you hated him, but it's still another bullpen.
Darren O'Day's 38 years old. I'd prefer
Forgot
Darren
about
O'Day than that
I
piece
agree.
of garbage.
I agree.
Literally just swapping them out, which I'm completely fine with.
I'd say it was a good swap.
Aaron Boone getting out of the hospital, going to be making those
is he?
decisions. Yep, out of the hospital.
Good.
Had emergency surgery to get a pacemaker.
They need him back as fast as possible.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, I don't even know who would be our backup manager.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
And I'm happy with the MLB did with putting Lou Gehrig Day into the season.
Lou Gehrig Day. About
Very
time.
happy.
That's awesome.
Very happy. Well, it was about time.
Yeah.
He made a speech in 1939, I want to say. 1938, 1939, around that area.
Yep.
They're only 90 years late, but...
Well, let's say Lou Gehrig didn't get sick. How many records do you think he's holding?
Okay, so the notable one is 56 games.
Yep.
With a hit. He would definitely be going for, obviously not most hits in MLB history, but I would assume he would have over 3,500. I would assume.
Well, at the time he might have at one point, but.
Well, yes, but I feel like if the Yankees could have won a lot more rings with him.
Yeah, it's possible. Very possible.
Very true. But honestly, I don't know the exact number of records he could have broken if his career didn't have to come to an abrupt end, but let's just say, I think you need 2 hands to count them on.
I like that.
I think that's I think it's a bold statement, but I think it's a very possible statement.
But Lou Gehrig Day, about time.
Yes.
About time.
I'm very happy. Okay.
What do you say?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
We go over some spring training games from today.
Okay.
All right, so right now, we got the Braves beating the Twins 4-0 today. Maybe the Twins should sign Jake Odorizzi back, or maybe sign some better hitters. The bomb squad.
Yeah.
We got the Yankees and the Tigers tying 1-1 to finish the day.
Yep, tie.
We got the Marlins beating the Astros 1-0. It's an exciting game.
Oh yeah.
Phillies beat the Pirates 3-0.
Yep.
The Red Sox beat the division rivals, the Rays, 6-5.
The Rays are on a downward spiral very quickly.
The Rays are not a playoff team.
Nope. And anybody that says that they are, and anybody
They're
who's on
not.
the Randy Rosa hype train, I would assume in my personal opinion, I think you should hop off that train as soon as possible.
Radio Rosarita should hop off the train and then maybe just get run over by it afterwards because he is not leaving Tampa Bay.
No, he's not.
Not for the foreseeable future.
Nope.
Anyways, the Blue Jays beat their division rival, the Orioles, 13-4. That's
Wow.
that Blue Jays offense right there.
Yeah.
Dodgers beat the Royals as expected, 7-5.
Yep.
Indians beating the Cubs 10-4. That's two downward spiral team right there facing off against each other. Got the Angels beating the Athletics 7-3.
Okay.
Mariners beat the White Sox 2-2. Or sorry, tied 2-2. Excuse me. Spring training, the Brewers defeated the Rockies 12-3. Spring training though, I'm sure the Rockies will pick it up totally.
Oh, of course.
And right now we got the Cardinals and the Nationals playing, and middle of the fifth right now. Nationals are winning 5-3. Nolan Arenado, by the way, has looked good in spring training so far for the Cardinals. I'm starting to get used to him in red. Although I would have liked to see him in the orange and blue.
But what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? We got Francisco Lindor.
Yeah.
And anyways, two more games that are gonna be happening later tonight. Diamondbacks and the Reds, and the Giants and the Padres. And that is all.
One last mini question.
Go ahead.
Do you think the Reds are a playoff team, especially with how bad the NL Central is?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Even with that, I know they lost Trevor Bauer, but even with their starting rotation.
Nope.
All right.
Brewers will be the playoff
Brewers.
team.
Speaking, okay. Last thing, I was saying this
Yep.
the other day. I honestly believe the Brewers, with that pickup of JBJ, I think they gave themselves a top 5 outfield.
I agree, and I think that Christian Yelich is going to totally rebound after last season, which was horrendous. I mean, let's not sugarcoat it. He sucked last year.
He brought his
terrible.
career stats down because of that.
Definitely. And guess what? He's still a top 10 player in baseball.
He should be thankful that last year was only a 60-game season.
Yeah. Well, do you think what happened would have happened in a normal season? Because I don't.
No, but he would have rebounded.
Yeah.
In a 162-game season. But completely horrific.
Definitely.
Okay.
I think he'll rebound though. Same for Cody Bellinger.
Yes, Cody Bellinger's. I feel like might.
But guess what? No one cares what Cody Bellinger did in the regular season because he freaking won the World Series.
True. Mookie Betts carried that team as usual, and he's just going to for the next couple of years because he is a goat.
Next decade probably.
Yeah.
Mookie, man. Now I have a question.
Yes.
This circles back to fantasy a little bit, but let's say it's fantasy baseball related.
Okay.
You have the first overall pick in the baseball draft, let's say. Who are you taking?
Mike Trout and Mookie Betts.
All right.
Is that it?
See, I looked at a thing. I saw Ronald Acuna Jr. ranked number 1.
No.
No?
No.
Why do you say no?
Because no.
I agree with you, but why do you say that?
He's gonna.
I think he's too risky.
Besides, he's gonna be too risky. You have to go off of more than just home runs and RBIs. He's not gonna have as many hits as some of these other players.
Yeah.
He's not gonna have the defensive stats as some other players.
That's true.
Like he can run. But his average, the amount of hits he's gonna have compared to some other players, it's just not gonna be even close. Like it might be like a 50 hit gap. That's how big of a gap I think it would be.
Now one more quick fantasy baseball question before we move to another sport, probably.
Yep.
Fernando Tatis Jr. Well, what spot do you think he's getting taken? Top 10?
Of course. Top 10 for sure.
Closer to 10 or closer to 1?
Closer to 10.
What, like 6 or 7 maybe?
I was thinking like 7, 8, 9.
Okay. Who gets taken first? Jacob deGrom and Tatis Jr.
Jacob deGrom.
Okay. I agree. All right.
The players that come to my head when you talk about top 5 for fantasy: Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Grom, Cole, and like
I
probably.
think Acuna's probably top 5.
I don't think so. I'd pick Juan Soto over Ronald Acuna.
Soto's defense isn't great.
I know, but did you see his numbers last year? Even if he had even if he slumped in the second half of what would be a regular season, he would still have well over a 300 batting average.
Yeah, you're right.
He ended his season
I mean,
with like a 370 something.
I'm just saying, Soto is not a great defender, and he's not even going to be playing his normal position next year. He'll be playing right field.
Yeah, you're right. Actually,
Maybe he'll be better though. Maybe he's going to be a better right fielder.
maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe.
But
Okay.
we'll see.
Time to move away from baseball.
Where do you want to go? You want to go
I want to
basketball,
talk about
football?
I want to talk about the New York Knicks.
The New York Knicks.
We have been hot.
The New York Knickerbockers.
We have been on fire. Julius Randle is the greatest thing the Knicks have seen since Carmelo Anthony.
Wow.
And that was 8 years ago.
Is that before or after all insanity?
I'm going to be completely honest. I completely forgot when Linsanity was, but that was only for a few games. At least Julius Randle. It's been 30, almost 40 games. That's
okay.
Good.
I have a quick Knicks question for you, since
Okay.
I know a little bit. I'm not for the listeners. I'm not really a big basketball person myself, but Julius Randle. Do you extend him before the season ends, or do you wait and see?
I feel like
Gonna be cheaper if you do it now, but
yeah,
it's riskier if you do it now too.
I feel like we do it now. We've been risking this season this entire way through. Might as well make another risk.
I like it.
Might as well do it now.
And the All-Star
I think it's gonna
happen,
happen.
right?
Not a clue. And yes, he is an All-Star this year, which
and
very
Obi
deserved.
Toppin is in the slam dunk competition, correct?
Yep, correct.
And isn't what's his face? Julius Randle. He's on KD's team, right?
He's on Team KD, even though KD's
So
not playing. But
Knicks fans and Nets fans, we get to rejoice together for a little bit. Let's talk for a little bit, shall we? Come on, we get to root for the same team for a little bit.
Yep.
Kyrie's on Kyrie, and I believe James Harden is a reserve.
He is. Okay. A lot of NBA players have been disagreeing on whether or not there should have been an All-Star game. Do you believe having an All-Star game was smart this year?
Do I believe it was smart?
Do you believe that it was worth taking time out of the season when it was already shortened and risking COVID even more? I know numbers are down.
Yeah.
But risking COVID more. Some players didn't want to be in it.
Yeah.
I know it's for money and it's a business, and they get numbers, but the NBA as a whole, I don't think you have an All-Star game. I'm gonna be completely honest.
All right. Here's what I think. I'm okay with the All-Star game. I'm okay with it, even though I know for sure, obviously everyone knows, it's a money grab. Of course it is.
Yep.
Like everything in sports most of the time.
Yep.
It's a money grab.
Yep.
But I think we need to start getting back a sense of normalcy. And I don't have a problem with it taking time out of the season. It's not like we're playing less games because there's no All-Star, or there's an All-Star game.
Yeah.
No one's playing less games than they originally were.
Nope.
Just gonna be a little break, and I'm not against the players even having a break at all. And let me just point out, a lot of those players, especially LeBron James, who outspoke against the All-Star game, guess who's the freaking team captain for one of the teams? It's LeBron James.
Well,
I mean, come on. I guess you're not that against it. If you agreed to be a team captain and you clearly agreed to play in the game.
I understand. I feel like it would have been better if they would have either just gave them like a 3-day break where there were no games, or like a 4-day break where no games happened, or just have the season end shorter and just go straight up.
I don't know. I think we have to start getting back a sense of normalcy. Honestly.
It is a business, and we have to respect that.
It is a business.
But, in my opinion, I don't think that was the smartest decision.
I get it, but
what are you going to do?
I don't mean to transfer back to the MLB for a little bit, but do you think there's going to be an MLB All-Star game this year? Or a home run derby, for that matter?
I believe so.
I think so, too.
I believe so.
Especially
by
if
then,
basketball's
it will
having
be
one and it's
July.
outside. MLB's outside too,
Yep.
so
Yep.
that's a factor.
I believe it'll happen.
Where is the All-Star game supposed to be? Atlanta this year, right?
Atlanta.
And then they're going back to LA next year, if I'm not
Yes, they're
mistaken.
going back to Atlanta.
Okay. Yeah, they were supposed to do LA this year, or 2020. And then, obviously, that didn't happen. So Atlanta's this year, and then they're going to do LA 2022.
2022. Correct. I saw pictures from the new Space Jam movie. That's gonna. I'm watching that 1,000%.
Yeah.
Those pictures look fire. And one last topic on the NBA: Blake Griffin
Blake.
getting bought out.
Blake.
Good old Blake.
What happened, Blake?
Ever since he left LA, it's just downwards.
Poor Blake, man. I mean, I didn't think he was going to get bought out. Jeez. But do you know who the favorite is to sign him?
Who's the favorites?
The Brooklyn Nice-Witted Nets.
The Brooklyn Nice-Witted Nets. I'm pretty sure it's the New York Nice-Witted Knicks.
Well, I don't know if being a game above 500 we can call them nice-witted.
Considering the
sure.
fact we were supposed to be in a quote-unquote rebuild year this year, and we are like the 5 seed or the 4 seed, I think we're doing.
Believe
pretty
they're the
good for
5 seed
ourselves.
right now.
I think we're doing pretty good
That's
for
fair.
ourselves.
That's fair. All right, that's fair.
I think it's
But
fair thing to say that we are the nice.
could you imagine if the Brooklyn Nets got Blake Griffin? I mean, talk about a four-headed dragon. Kyrie, KD,
Yep.
James Harden. Oh, by the way, that James Harden trade when it first happened, I'm not a Nets fan, but when that James Harden trade first happened, I was not a fan. Didn't really like it. Thought they gave up a little much. I thought they gave away their future, but which they did, I still think. But clearly, with the way he's been playing, it's worth it.
Well, yeah. At this rate, they won that trade.
I'd say so.
Absolutely. But ever since
they gave up
just imagine it. You're 1, 2, 3, 4, and even 5 of Kyrie Irving, James Harden, KD, Blake Griffin, and then DeAndre Jordan. Just imagine, I can't wrap my head around that.
I
feel bad
That's
for
a
Blake
team.
Griffin, but honestly, this buyout may start another might spark him up a little bit because
I was gonna say maybe it'll revitalize him a little bit.
Ever since he jumped over that car in the dunk contest, his career's gone downhill. I'm sorry, but it just has. It just has.
Now, I have a question.
Yes.
The way James Harden's been playing,
Yes.
I'd say it puts him in the MVP conversation. No. But no.
You could put him in the MVP conversation, but he's not going to win it.
No, I don't think he is. But let's say he keeps putting the numbers he's been putting, and let's say it's really good numbers, like it is better than anyone in the NBA.
Yes.
And he should with the MVP. Would you give it to him after what he pulled in Houston?
No.
No.
No. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
No.
When do you think we can forgive James Harden for what he did in Houston?
It's gonna take a little while, but and I don't know how.
Like after the season, maybe.
I'm hoping after the season, but who knows?
I mean, geez, if he keeps playing like this, I think Nets fans have to forgive him. How could you hold a grudge? I mean, I'm sure. Never mind. I'm sure Nets fans have forgiven him. NBA fans and I feel like Rockets fans probably don't even care at this point.
No, they don't care.
If they even exist.
Yeah, the Rockets just.
They went from a playoff team to the bottom of the barrel team.
They went from being the 4 seed or the 5 seed in the playoffs in the bubble to literally being like a bottom 5 team.
Also, please, for the love of God, get Bradley Beal out of Washington.
Yeah, they're like the
poor guy.
I saw something where every single 40-plus point game he's had this year, I think it's been 9 games, right? They've lost every single game.
It's embarrassing.
All of them.
Every last one of them. That's terrible.
Terrible. Just disappointing. Just period. Disappointing, period.
Period, stop.
It's crazy. Alright. The last topic we want to talk about before we head out is Liam's boy, Alex Smith, on the Washington football team getting cut.
Scummy Washington. It was scummy. How do you do that? This guy, he just had one of the most the best story
I
of
think
2021
yes.
for the NFL.
I think one of the best comeback stories in NFL history.
They should rename the Comeback Player of the Year award to the Alex Smith Award.
I believe.
And you know what they did to him? They just dropped him like he was nothing.
Yep.
And this guy, Giants, sign him, please. I like Daniel Jones, but come on. Just bring Alex Smith over. Just let him hang out.
There are a lot more teams that need a quarterback than the Giants do right now.
I know.
But
like the Jets.
Yes, but the Jets aren't going to get him, but he needs to get
Deshaun
signed.
Watson to the Jets have slowed down a little bit, don't you?
Oh, it's definitely slowing down. I don't think it's going to happen anymore.
Do you think he's going to go anywhere, or do you think he's going to...
Oh, no, he's definitely going somewhere. I think he's going to go to the Carolina Panthers.
I've heard Miami.
Or Miami.
I've heard... What's up? Yeah, I've heard Miami and, Tua is going to be headed to, Houston. Yeah.
Got it.
Houston. But Alex Smith, they did him dirty. Who's going to be Washington's quarterback now?
They got rid of Dwayne Haskins.
Do they have Heineke?
Chad Heineke.
They have more faith in Heineke than Alex Smith.
It's I hate to say it, but it's just because he's younger and there's more future with that.
I know, but why cut him though? Why?
What? Not just have him as the backup?
Yeah, not even as the backup. Just give Alex Smith that one last year. I don't know how many years is left. Would have been left on his contract. If it was 1 year, then why not keep him? Because that future is not ready to go yet. I know they made the playoffs this year, but let's face it. If it was possible for an NFC East team not to make the playoffs, none of them should have.
Oh, yeah. The considering the fact the division winner was 7-9. Crazy.
Embarrassing.
He signed in 2018 a 4-year contract worth $94 million.
Okay, so
they cleared up their cap space by $23.5 million.
So he would have had what, just this year, I guess?
2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. Yes.
So it would have just been this year?
He was going to become a free agent in 2023.
I would have kept him.
But $23.5 million is sitting on your bench, like, I don't know.
No, I would have started him.
I think no, because the Redskins now know that they have to, like, their status now has to be a young team and a rebuild team. They can't have a 36-year-old dude, about to be 37-year-old dude, be your starting quarterback.
Yeah, I get that.
I also didn't know Alex Smith was a number 1 overall pick. I did not know that.
Was he really? What year?
05.
Did not know that.
Did not know that either, but he's definitely gonna get signed. Don't know where, or definitely no more than 2 years. But
I hope he gets signed to a contender, man.
I just don't see it happening.
He won't, because guess what the contenders already have? A quarterback.
Quarterbacks. Yeah, it's a tight market.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. He worked so hard.
The last 2.5 years for him have been one of the roughest things in sports.
And he worked so hard to come back, just to get cut like that.
Yeah.
It's just not right. I know it's a business, and I'm sure he doesn't hold ill will towards Washington, but man,
at least he's a shiny piece of hardware.
It's true.
Comeback player of the year.
Did he win that?
He did win comeback player of the year.
Good. Sorry, I don't follow the NFL that much, listeners, but I try.
I think that is all we have time for in today's first ever episode of the Home Field Podcast. I think we can say that it was a very successful podcast.
I'd say so. I thank you, whoever listens. Thank you. I mean, just expect hopefully consistent content and coverage to come out. Sadly, no breaking news during this one, but when that does happen, when breaking news happens during one of our recording sessions, that will be on it. It'll be funny. It'll be funny to hear too.
It'll be very funny. Very funny.
But just, I think obviously, you gotta give us a little leeway on this one. It's our first one. We're just recording, no practice really. We just went over the subjects and what we're gonna talk about. But
just dipping our feet in the water.
Exactly. And I thought it went pretty well, but for whoever watches, we'd love to hear your feedback on that. And
any topics you want to talk about, you can leave in the comment section below.
Yeah, and this will be posted on YouTube, hopefully as soon as possible. And you can follow subscribe to our YouTube Home Field Podcast.
Home Field Podcast. Yep.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
We will see you all another day.
Okay.
What are you gonna say, Dim?
No. I think we left it off on a good note.
I agree.
Everybody, thank you for watching. Drop a comment, drop a like. Tell us what topics you want us to talk about.
And if you really want us to talk about NASCAR, we're still not
I'm
gonna
sorry.
do it.
Yes, we're not talking about NASCAR. It's just not gonna happen.
Oh, breaking news! Breaking news! Alex DeBrincat has hit
Scored.
100 career goals and 200 career points.
Good for him.
Thank you. All right.
All right, we're gonna end
Thank
it
you,
there.
everyone.
Follow our Twitch. Follow our own socials. @Plaid Heartbeat on Twitch. @Puerto Rican on Twitch. You wanna plug our Twitters? Mine's is DCruz914. What's yours?
Liam Shea 34.
Plug those too.
Also, you can follow me on TikTok, Puerto Rican 3.
Yes. Fire content.
Fire content.
All right, we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Thank you, everyone.